Hi, I'm Gary Engler, your socialist grandfather. Welcome to Economic Democracy or No Democracy, an anti oligarchy manifesto. Today, I ask a question. Is there a realistic and achievable alternative to capitalism? In this episode, I begin a discussion about economic democracy. In every system throughout history, economic and social power always resulted in political power, which then also becomes military power. And then those with more economic, social, military, and political power have used it to get themselves a larger share of the economic pie, leading to a virtuous cycle for the few and a vicious cycle for the many. Wealth is power, but it is also the result of power. More wealth, more power. More wealth, more power. Great for the richest 1%, good for the 9% upper middle class, tolerable for the 10% middle class, but terrible for the rest of us, most of whom work for wages. This concentration of power in the hands of the few is the enemy of democracy. So, what can we do to fix this inequality of power? Answers in the past have included high taxes on high incomes, inheritance taxes, property taxes, nationalizing sectors of the economy, encouraging unions. These policies were called social democracy or sometimes Keynesianism and did reduce the power of the very rich in many countries. Relative prosperity was the result, but only in countries that benefited from colonial or neo-colonial exploitation, because social democracy seldom challenged imperialism, never challenged minority rule. In fact, Keynesianism was designed to preserve capitalism by preventing recurring economic crises. Ironically, capitalism survived so well that they eventually reversed many of these reforms. They demanded and won drastic tax cuts, privatization of nationalized industries, and the destruction of unions. The result has been growing inequality. In most countries that once proclaimed themselves socialist or communist, capitalism has returned and with it, rising inequality. Why? The place to look is where actually existing communism and actually existing Keynesian capitalism were the same. Both remained systems of minority rule. Both were run by small elites, supposedly to benefit the people, but neither actually created governance structures in which all forms of power were distributed equally. Both systems, for their own reasons, were scared of real democracy. Minority rule is what makes growing inequality inevitable. A system can proclaim itself democratic or a dictatorship of the proletariat, but if a minority holds most of the economic and therefore social and political power, the result will be the same. The minority will inevitably reward itself, its power will grow, and ever expanding inequality will result. So, we're back to the question of power and how to distribute it equally. The answer, I believe, is more democracy, real democracy, economic democracy, workplace democracy, social democracy as it was originally conceived. This is not a new fight. According to The Dawn of Everything, A New History of Humanity by David Graeber and David Wengrow, and Humans, the 300,000-year struggle for equality by Alvin Frankel, civilizations based on equality have existed throughout history and have fought back against minority rule. Humans have always experimented with different ways of organizing society. We must do the same to find the best ways to democratically administer the economy. Worker and community cooperatives, nationalized industries run by multiple owning communities so that power doesn't become concentrated in the hands of a central state. Make everyone an owner. Every place where social labor occurs, people working in coordination with others, must be governed by democratic principles. In the next episodes, I will describe what this new economic system might look like. Thank you.